Hey guys, today I want to help you guys maybe give you some practical ideas to not get infected with the coronavirus, some scientifically proven facts. I just want to help as many people as I can to stop this from spreading. I watched a survival video years ago, and it was specifically talking about pandemics. So I kind of want to share just some things from that, and just some common sense ways to minimize your risk of exposure. Okay. Number one, obviously, stay home as much as you possibly can. As much as you can. If you do not have to go out, then do not go out, okay? Many people are walking around spreading this virus without even knowing that they have it. So that's obviously the first line of defense, is just don't go out if you don't have to. Try to keep enough supplies to stay in your house for, at least, as long as you can. At least 2, 3, 4 weeks, however long. I know a lot of people have to work, and, my husband's making a grocery store run today, but I told him, that we are going to do some, we're going to take some common sense approaches to going out, and that's really what I want to talk about today. When you have to go out, whether it be to work or to the grocery store, how do you protect yourself? Okay. If you research the internet, you're going to see that this virus can live in air for up to 3 or 3.5 hours. Now, think about that, guys. This virus is living in the air, or it's staying in the air for an amount of time. So if you walk into a grocery store, you're breathing in this air. Okay, that's how you contract the virus, is through your nostrils. It enters through your nose, through your mouth, or you have mucous membranes where it can enter through your eyes. So obviously you're going to want to have those things covered and protected in the best way that you can. People might make fun of you in this area for wearing a mask, but if you have to make your own homemade mask, I encourage you to do that. There are many resources on YouTube that will tell you how to make a mask, that will give you much advice about how you can come up with your own mask, okay? And they'll tell you how to wear it and everything like that. But I do recommend a mask because it is a line of defense against this stuff getting in your mouth and getting in your nose. A lot of people don't realize that this stuff can come in through your mucous membranes in your eyes, okay? So if you have it on your hands and you touch your eyes, you can get a virus that way. One way to protect about that, guys, is obviously, if you're out and about, do not touch your face at all, okay? Don't touch your eyes, don't touch your nose, don't touch your mouth. If you have a pair of safety glasses with side shields, then wear that. An even bigger line of defense would be a pair of goggles, because it's going to protect the mucous membranes of your eyes from coming in contact with all that infected air. This is just science, guys, okay? I'm not trying to fear-monger or whatever, but this is science. So that's one of your line of defenses. You have to assume, guys, right now this virus is spreading so rapidly, you have to assume that, they're telling you to stay at least 3 to 6 feet away from people, okay, right now. So you have to assume that people are infected and that surfaces are infected, because people are coughing and sneezing and whatever. One thing that they're saying is that, if someone coughs, then a lot of those particles are going to land on the ground. You're going to get those particles on your shoes, okay? The particles are going to be on your clothing, all right? So it's just important that the whole time you're out, you're not touching your face at all, and you're keeping your hands clean. You have to realize that anything that people touch is a possible method of contamination. Gas handles, doors, buggy and shopping carts, even food at the grocery store that people might pick up and put down or cough on. You have to assume that everything in public spaces is going to be contaminated. ATM machines, so many people touch those screens, and whenever you're using the credit card machine at the checkout, that's going to be contaminated. Your money is going to be contaminated. So you just have to treat everything kind of as, don't be paranoid, but when you go out, you need to be extremely cautious, okay? I'm not paranoid about this, but I'm cautious, and I think that that's a good thing. And I think if everybody was cautious, we would wipe this thing out, okay? We would get rid of it. Our lives can go back to normal. So please at least see the value in what I'm saying, because a lot of this is scientifically proven. Now, okay. So, let's say you went to the grocery store, you have all your things, you have your mask, you have your goggles, you have all your stuff, you haven't touched your nose or your face or your eyes, because that's the most important thing. Now, when you come into your house, assume that the bottom of your shoes are contaminated. Assume that everything on you is contaminated. Leave your shoes at the door, okay? When you go in the house, make a beeline and take off your clothes. Put them in a hamper or put them directly in the washing machine. Now your hands are going to be contaminated. Make sure you wash your hands really well. Make sure you shower, because this stuff can get on you. You know, if you touch something in the grocery store that has this virus and then you're touching your clothes, then you have it all over you, okay? That's why this is spreading so rapidly, because people aren't hearing this information, because people don't understand how, a lot of people don't understand how these viruses spread and how these particles are everywhere. So, like I said, take off your clothes, put them in the washer, wash your hands, shower. All the groceries that you have, if you're able to wipe them down with, assume that your groceries and your bags have something on them. Someone recommended today, sunlight kills viruses fairly quickly. I would research exactly how long, but I would leave your non-perishable goods out in the sunlight for a certain amount of time. Flip them over on both sides and make sure all sides are getting sunlight. If you don't want to do that and you have extra Clorox wipes, or if you have like Lysol or a bleach solution, then just lightly wipe those items and try to clean those off. Dispose of your bags. Don't leave your bags lying around. After you touch your bags, wash your hands again. And then just treat every space that you've walked into as a possible contamination and try to clean that area. And, like I said, I know this sounds extreme, but this virus is spreading like crazy, and I don't think anything is too extreme right now, especially when it comes to cleanliness and understanding these type of things. Also, be aware when you go out to your mailbox. Now, the outside of the mailbox is in the sunlight, but the other day, I saw the mailman pass by, and I thought, well, what if my mailman's infected, So assume that your mailbox is contaminated. Assume that the mail carrier touched your mail, and assume that that's infected. So just anything that comes from the outside take precaution and treat it as if it's, like I said, don't fear, don't panic, but take it seriously and treat things from the outside as if they could possibly have the virus on them. And just be clean right now. Be vigilant, be cautious. You know, because I want to see I want to see this virus just stop in its tracks. And I think if everybody did their part and you know, one thing I learned is the news isn't telling people these things. They're not telling people how to decontaminate. They're not telling people just practical advice. But if you get on YouTube, there's tons of advice, you know, on there. But anyway, this is all I have. These are my suggestions for helping you guys to come up with practical solutions to stopping this thing in its tracks. Anyway, thanks guys.